Alright, so we have a ton of 2025 AFL trade news to go over in today's video. Again, it continues to come out. I think this year is going to be one of the biggest trade periods we've ever had yet again. Like, if last year wasn't already one of the biggest we've ever had, I think this year is going to be massive, because every single week there is just another new name that we previously didn't know about, that again you guys are going to be hearing a bit more about in today's video. Again, to kind of start off, I wanted to get straight into the recent Harley Reed news, because I mean, the recent Harley Reed news is insane. Like, I think when we heard a month or so ago that Harley Reed was in active negotiations with West Coast and that his manager was actually flying over to Perth, I think pretty much everyone and their dad was sitting there thinking that this guy is currently going to re-sign with the West Coast Eagles. And I legitimately believe that there was a stage where he was going to re-sign with the West Coast Eagles, but I believe a couple of things have changed him from doing that. Now, again, before I go into this more and more, I do want to preface by saying I still think that he will be re-signing with the Eagles, but a ton of things have happened, you know, at the time of making this video. Again, it is believed that Hawthorn actually have a little bit of salary cap to use as we speak, as they didn't get Oscar Allen. Again, it looks like he's a lock to go to Brisbane. Again, Warple, do we even really know what's going on with him? Again, it doesn't seem like the Hawks are wanting to offer him the money that he really wants, and other teams are currently looking at him. Could that be because they are trying to keep money open? Again, Mitch Lewis rumours have come out as of late as well that they could be potentially shopping him around. Again, it looks like they're trying to clear up salary cap for a big reason. I mean, it is being reported that they're really in the hunt right now in terms of a midfielder. Again, it is being reported that they have their eyes absolutely set on Harley Reed, Zach Butters, and Christian Petrarca. Again, Harley Reed we'll talk about first. There's another Harley Reed rumor that we have to talk about, but we'll talk about this one first. And from what we know, again, Hawthorn are really interested in him. Are they going to be able to match the offer that the West Coast Eagles are going to present to him? Probably not. But if he is set on getting back home and actually set for playing for a legitimate contender, I mean, Hawthorn would be a no-brainer. That would be great. Like, we've all seen the leaks and the pictures of Harley Reid at Tom Barrass's wedding, and that he deliberately got sat next to Sam Mitchell, the coach of Hawthorn. Again, that's no coincidence that Tom Barrass probably did that. And I mean, we're all grown-ups here. We're all adults. We all know how the most normal adult probably thinks. There's no way Sam Mitchell didn't at least crack a joke to him, you know, a couple of Great Northerns deep in, and said, "Hey mate, thoughts on playing for the Hawks?" There is absolutely no way that didn't happen. So again, there's a little bit of connection. There's not much, but the fact that Hawthorn are interested is really interesting. Again, they're also interested in Zach Butters. I mean, I don't think Zach Butters will be going this off-season. From all the reports, it's that he will be testing his market for next year, and he'll see what happens. Again, it's a whole entire year away. Like, if you were to ask me right now, I'd say Zach Butters is probably re-signing with Hawthorn. But I mean, in 6 months' time, probably re-signing with Port Adelaide, sorry, I should say. But in 6 months' time, if Hawthorn were to come knocking, I 100% think he would look at that for 2026. And also think the team that is going really under the radar, that Zach Butters could ultimately captain as well, does happen to be Richmond. Again, Richmond are not good now. They're probably not going to be good next year. But I think after, you know, a year or two from now, I think the Tigers are going to be a seriously good footy club with how good their recruiting has been. And I definitely think they would have a really good pitch for Zach Butters. Would probably have the most money, pretty much the biggest club in the game. They would probably be able to offer the captaincy after 1 year of him literally probably being there. Do a Jordan Dawson situation. I think they're very much in the hunt. But yeah, Hawthorn are obviously going to be in the hunt. They're going to be interested. And then Christian Petrarca. I mean, Christian Petrarca would be a good player to go for if you're Hawthorn. Like, don't get me wrong, he'd be a good player. The issue is I think he'd be a good player for the wrong reasons. Again, I don't know if it's because Christian Petrarca is still a little bit hurt, that he hasn't had a good enough preseason, or whatever it might be. But Christian Petrarca in the last 4 weeks of his footy has not been that good. Like, watching him against the Western Bulldogs, they had to camp him down there as like an 80% forward just because of how slow he was in the midfield, how unfit he looked, and how torn apart his body still seemed to be. Again, is Petrarca going to be able to recover? Is Petrarca going to be able to bounce back from the horrific injury he had a little bit ago? I mean, I don't think so. I don't think Petrarca will ever be anywhere near the player he used to be. He's definitely not the player right now. In fact, he's probably not even half the player he used to be. The issue with Petrarca is, like, if Hawthorn think he can be a midfielder, you're 100% going to bring him in. But Melbourne are a really deeply struggling team right now and are playing the guy 80% forward, 20% midfield in some games. I mean, if Hawthorn could get him into being a 50-50 guy again or something like that, great. But it is very tough to know if he will ever get back to doing that. And, I mean, reality is that time's, not on his side. He is getting older, and he suffered one of the most horrific injuries in, like, probably the history of the AFL. I mean, he could have literally died. Like, that's how serious his injury was, and he wasn't able to play footy for quite a bit after that. So, I don't know. It is really interesting to see. I mean, will Petrarca ever be fit again? I don't know. Again, as I said, his injury was that bad. Like, I think he said in an interview, like, he was that bad. There were question marks being asked about how okay his health actually is. And, I mean, it's a really serious injury what he had. It's amazing he's back playing footy. But, yeah, it is, I don't know. It's definitely one we're going to have to wait and see. And definitely how Hawthorn are going to think. He's also a ton of money, to potentially spend on. We've also got the report saying that Harley Reed got offered $25 million by St Kilda, saying they've made a Godfather offer to Harley Reed of $25 million over 12 years. I'm not making this up. This is what I was told yesterday. And this is Tim Watson on St Kilda's reported offer. Again, Ross Lyon actually went on, I think it was Footy Classified, and said that Tim Watson, he doesn't know where he heard it, but it's completely not true. And that he hasn't spoken to Harley Reid, nothing's happened, all of the above. Again, in my opinion, Ross Lyon might not have spoken to Harley Reid. He might not even know much about the situation at all. That could be completely true. But there's no way that Tim Watson is lying here, and I believe with all my heart St Kilda have made an offer. Is it this big? I'm not too sure. But the reality is that St Kilda will have made an offer for Harley Reid. I mean, it's not like they're lying about how much cap they have. In fact, it is being said that they arguably have the most salary cap in, like, AFL history to spend this year. And there's a new AFL TV deal coming out in 6 years' time, meaning that they can not only front-end players now, but then also back-end players later on who they choose to be back-ended for their 2031 and up. Again, because they've got so much money to spend right now, that Tom De Koning deal might not even matter too much or have any effect on this. Tom De Koning will be getting 1.5 to 1.7 million a year with St Kilda. We know that's going to be a fact. But a lot of that could be front-ended. Like, shit, he could be the first $2 million player at the start of next year, and it could be really front-ended and come down. While Harley Reid could start off slow and be really back-ended. I mean, that's the great situation that they've got right now with their salary cap. They can realistically have, like, the 3 highest paid players in the game in De Koning, Wangane Miller and Harley Reid, because they're literally not paying anyone. And the players that they are paying, of like Jack Higgins and maybe even Cal Wilkie, I've heard are on pretty good friendly deals. Like, they have that much salary cap, it's crazy. Again, I have a feeling Richmond will be in a very similar boat next year, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Next year, they'll probably just be paying Taranto, Hopper, and Floss, and everyone else will be on really friendly deals that are very cheap. So, again, it's going to be interesting. I do think St Kilda have made this offer. Do I believe they're going to be getting Harley Reid? No, I still think Harley Reid is going to be re-signing with West Coast, but it is very interesting to know that that is where they legitimately stand at this time. Again, a couple other reports. It is being said that Dylan Shiel is keen to play on in 2026. If not at Essendon, then somewhere else. He almost got back to GWS last year. As it stands, it's unlikely, but not implausible, he will end up at the Giants in 2026 on a one-year deal. Again, I don't really think Dylan Shiel is that good of a player anymore. In fact, the fact that he's really struggling to get a game at Essendon, who have 800 million injuries, should probably tell you all you need. Would GWS be okay? Yeah, maybe for some depth, but honestly, I don't know. I don't think Essendon are going to want Dylan Shiel back. I can't see Dylan Shiel back at Essendon next year. I am quite 100% on it. I can only see one or two clubs be interested in Dylan Shiel for a one-year deal. Again, GWS are one. I think GWS will be interested in Dylan Shiel. It will probably be for a one-year deal, and that will probably be it. Again, outside of that, it is really, really super hard. I'm sure there will be another club come into it. I don't know who that other club is going to be. You know, maybe West Coast think they might need another veteran to add in, but again, they've got their own problems like Tim Kelly, so I don't think they would try and add more problems with a Dylan Shiel, who they don't even know if he's worth it or going to be playing as great next year. Again, I really don't know who it's going to be. I think it's either GWS or bust for this one, but we'll definitely have to wait and see. Again, as I've talked about on the channel before as well, Silvagni has recently just met with the Western Bulldogs, Essendon Football Club, and previously Collingwood, which Craig McRae confirmed. So the reports of him wanting out and moving on next year are probably going to be pretty accurate. I can't see him being at the club. But again, to finish it all off, there is a massive report going around right now that says that there is a 3-club chase for Marcus Windhager at the moment. Melbourne, Essendon, and North Melbourne. Clubs are chasing him, and they're chasing him hard now, and that's being reported by Riley Beveridge. Again, there is also a couple reports that have been going around for a little bit now that say that Richmond are also interested in him. And there's actually a post here by Tiger Faithful, like the big Richmond Instagram account, talking about why the Tigers should actually go for him. Now, before we do get into that and the reported interest from Richmond, we're going to talk about these other clubs. I mean, from what it's being said, Marcus Windhager is actually a really loyal player. Riley Beveridge even goes as far as to say that he actually really wants to stay at St Kilda, but apparently it's only on a 2-year deal on actually pretty low money. But if he was offered a 3-year deal on, you know, a little bit more, he would straight away re-sign. So here's the thing. He's probably met with Melbourne, he's probably met with Essendon, he's probably met with North Melbourne. They're all probably going to be offering him those 3-year deals and on better money. He will then go to St Kilda and be like, look, they're offering it to me. If you don't offer it to me, I'm gone. And I actually think they need to keep Windhager. Again, I think he's a pretty good player. There are 3 reasons why he's a pretty good player right here. 1, he's an immediate upgrade for the Tigers. During the rebuild, Richmond must continuously look for upgrades on the field. Windhager is a better player than Ross, Sonsie, McAuliffe, Trezise, Ralph Smith, and Dow. It just is. He's out of contract, so a future pick would get it done. 2, he's versatile. Want a running half back, want a wingman, want an inside midfielder? Marcus can do it all. As seen against Richmond on the weekend, where he had 32 disposals, 9 marks, and 6 tackles playing on a wing. 3, he's the right age bracket. Windhager is only 22 and only going to get better with experience. I mean, those other clubs would be listening to exactly all that as well. They know that this guy is a good player, and a lot of these teams are going to want him. North Melbourne, screw that noise. They've got enough midfielders. I don't know why they're going for another one. Jesus Christ, just go and get a backman, North, please. But again, for Essendon and Melbourne, this makes a lot of sense. I think he'd be a really good addition for Essendon, while Melbourne, I think, desperately need to go out and continuously add to their youth, as they don't own a first-round pick this year. So I think they will be pretty bullish on adding another guy, another young, talented, upcoming player. He would be perfect. But I think, yeah, St Kilda will cave in eventually. They'll offer him 3, and they'll offer him a little bit more coin as well. And I think he'll eventually re-sign with them going forward. But again, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest AFL content and AFL news. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Where do you guys think all these players should go? Do you think any of them are going to be leaving? All of the above. Again, I very much like to know your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to the channel for all latest AFL content, AFL news, my gaming/movie channel down below, and my Instagram. Go and check them all out. Yeah, as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.